Hello guys and welcome to today's live stream. Well, kind of live stream. Today I'm going to be explaining everything about the rewrite. Like for example, why the rewrite was started, why have I decided to do a rewrite, the battle themes, literally everything you need to know, and all the build up to each battle and everything. So first of all, let's go over the reasons why I'm rewriting Journeys. That's because the series has so much potential, but it's just come out as an absolute mess. Like if Chloe's arc in Rhythm Masters A, you had the battles, the 1 to 2 shots, first fights, which shouldn't be happening. Ash isn't using reserves in the Masters 8 is one of the big reasons, because this is the biggest tournament of all time, and he ain't even using his strongest Tygon he could use. And that's another reason. Another reason is that Ash's team this season has just been so weird, and the development has just been off. Gengar, Lucario, Pikachu had great development. Surface has some pretty decent development, but then Dracovish and Dragonite basically had nothing. So that's what I'm going to be trying to be fixed in the rewrite. I'm going to have some episodes for each member of this team. But I do have 2 new members, which you will see on these Masters 8 battles. Which I should really speak about the Masters 8 quick. So the Masters 8 is going to work a bit differently in the rewrite. So you know how I have in the normal and in normal Journey, like if you lose one battle you are out. That ain't how it's going to work here. We have a thing called a round robin, where basically the Masters 8 are going to be split into 2 groups of 4. One group is Ash, Cam, who you know is my original character, who's going to be with Ash the entire time, like from the original series to Journeys. I'll do all the other series eventually. Then the other ones are Steven and Lance and Steven I'll explain. And then the other group, you've got Leon, Cynthia, Diantha, and Iris. And yeah, and they should basically, each person in the group has to battle, right? And the ones who get the top 2 in each group will advance to the semi-finals. And then the ones who win their semi-finals will move on to the finals. So yeah, as well as that, I've also laid out a lot of events way earlier. Like for example, Project Mu comes way earlier because they've really crammed that in for the second half of Journeys. But for the fact they should have done it around the first half. So yeah, and as well as that, I just fixed all the missed opportunities they had. Like there are certain characters they could have had return throughout Journeys, and they just couldn't bring them back. But now guys, we're going to go over the teams for each of the Master 8 battles, which I don't have Ash's team for Leon yet, nor Cam's team for Leon in the semi-finals, or if that was Steven's. I'll have to explain those. But every other battle I do have teams down. Well, for at least the Ash and Cam battle side, I don't have the other fights down, but I can explain those fights. So yeah, let's just get into it, guys. So the first battle we have, as you guys can see, is the Ash and Steven fight, and as you can see, there are a lot of differences. First of all the battles in the last 8 are going to be 6v6, which will obviously, and these battles will be only 2 to 3 episodes. And as you can see, yeah, Ash's team, as you can see, yeah, he's got reserves. So first of all, let me go over the team for everyone. So at Steven's team, we have Agron, Skarmory, Carlink, Cradley, Armaldo, and Mega Metagross, which obviously is his ace. And for Ash, we have Dracovish, Heracross, Melmetal, Sceptile, Surfetch'd, and Incineroar. So I'll explain the teams for each of them. Steven's Metagross, Cradley, and Agron are of course, from the anime. Skarmory is always a key Pokemon that Steven always leads off with in the games, and it will be interesting to see what kind of strategies he will pull on that in the anime, considering what he did with Cradley in the original Ash fight, where we had the Power Whip and the Media Beam combo, and then healing with Ingrain. Then your Carbink, it's actually a one he actually has on his Aurash rematch team. And it kind of fits Steven because, you know, it's a rock and Steven likes rocks. And Olmaldo is because it's the other fossil, and I feel like, and we haven't seen many Olmaldos in the anime. We've only seen the one in the Sinnoh League from was it Nando? I think it's Nando. So yeah, that's scene, and then for Ash, Dracovish, and Cerberus. I wanted to bring those two together because you know they're dynamic in the anime. I want to have those two basically in any of the same fights because you got that dynamic still going on. However, of course, because it's really underrated, and that's how they use it since Sinnoh. But as you can see from Steven's team, it could do some work in it. It could have a bug battle with Olmaldo. It counters Cradilly. You can deal with Aggron, and even do good damage to Metagross. Melmetal, this was really obvious. It's Ash's mythical Steel type against the Steel type champion, and Melmetal will debut its Gigantamax form in this battle. And this is kind of the perfect battle for Melmetal to show it off, since it's against the Hoenn champion, who mainly specializes in Steel and Rock type Pokemon. And as you can see by Melmetal, and remember, Melmetal has two new moves, which will be High Horsepower and Thunder Punch, which, as you can see, pretty much his entire team gets walled. The entire team gets wrecked. Then there's Sceptile because he's the Hoenn Ace, and he kind of has to fight the Hoenn champion. But it can even help against like a lot of his rock types. You can see like Carbink, Cradily, Olmaldo, and Aggron. It can do some good damage too. Then Incineroar, this man has needed the battle, and if you're wondering who is defeating Mega Metagross, it's actually going to be Incineroar. It's not going to be Melmetal. Basically, Melmetal's going to lose to Metagross, but also Sceptile's also going to battle Metagross, so it's like weakened by two Pokemon. So then Incineroar can finally get his win, and bringing it against Steve's Mega Metagross does just show how strong Incineroar has gotten since evolving. But yeah, did anyone know to Ash's team for the Steven fight, which I'm really happy with this team. Like it's a really strong team, and this battle I already know we made it. And this battle, by the way, is 3 parts. This is a 3-part battle. So let's get to the next team, you guys. So now, guys, we have Ash versus Lance, where we have Lance's team being Dragonite, Gyarados, Hydreigon, Charizard, Adapt from Kingdra. He also has one other Pokemon which he'll show in the Cam battle later. And then we'll have, and then Ash's team for this is Dracovish, Charizard, Pikachu, Dragonite, Lycanroc, and Snorlax. So I'll explain. Lance, Hydreigon, Gyarados, Dragonite, obviously he has those in the anime. Aerodactyl is a really key Pokemon needed on his champion team. So it make a lot of sense to Lance to bring over Aerodactyl. Charizard, because you could have a good Charizard battle with Ash's Charizard, and also it could possibly debut its a Mega form, since in the Let's Go games he actually has Mega Charizard X. And then Kingdra, since in the Let's Go games he actually has a Seadra, so you could definitely give Lance a Kingdra, and it'd be a good mirror to his cousin, to Claire, who is the cousin of Lance. Then for Ash, Dracovish, Drake and Dragonite, they're both dragons, so they make a lot of sense. Pikachu, because well, he's Ash's starter, and he kind of would probably use Pikachu against the Kanto champion. But even if you look at Lance's team, Pikachu kind of does some work. He can do work super effective moves against Gyarados, Aerodactyl, and Charizard, and then even hit neutral damage on Kingdra and Dragonite. Snorlax, because Snorlax is absolutely tanky and has never gone down without taking down a Pokemon. Plus, remember, actually Snorlax has Ice Punch, which would do super effective damage to Lance's team. He also has like powerful moves like Body Slam and Hyper Beam, which can do a lot of damage. Lycanroc, because he's a rock type Pokemon, and as you can see, Lance's team kind of gets destroyed by rock. then of course you have Charizard, who it's a Kanto Ace, and Ash would use Charizard against the Kanto champion. And Charizard will be the Pokemon to win Ash's battle against Lance. And this battle will be 2 to 3 parts. It's undecided if it's going to be 2 or 3. But yeah, let's see you guys the next battle. And as you guys can see, yeah, with Ash and Cynthia, and as you can see, the final matchup will be Infernape versus Garchomp. Well, it should have been from the very start. So yeah, there could be some changes here. But yeah, your Pikachu, Torterra, Infernape, Surfetch, Gengar, and Dragonite. So let me explain each member. Pikachu, well, obviously he's actually started, so I feel like he should be in this battle against Cynthia, and he's in the main anime, so I feel like he should stay. Dragonite and Gengar, well, that's powerful and like as strong as his Journey team. Plus, Gengar can use his G-Max, which will be the gimmick in this battle, which Ash will use to catch up with Cynthia. And then also Surfetch, because he's just there. And then you have Torterra, who I put in so I could give him a win, because I hate how dirty the anime did Torterra, so I'm gonna give him the win. He will beat Sylvia's Milotic and then fall for and then lose to a Garchomp, which is so good, because that means Torterra's loss is to Garchomp, which means Torterra's gone down like an actual, has actually gone down respectfully and not gone down to like Pokemon that shouldn't be beating him. So let me go over this battle in more detail. So Infernape versus Garchomp is actually going to be in 3 stages. So you're going to have base Infernape versus base Garchomp. Then you're going to have Cynthia Mega Evolve Garchomp, which will start overpowering Infernape. And then of course Infernape's Blaze will of course activate, and Infernape will defeat Garchomp with Blaze, which is freaking epic if you ask me. And then obviously Dragonite and Gengar. Gengar's going to be using his G-Max to help push through Cynthia's team, where to take down Spiritomb and then draw with Gastrodon. And then Dragonite's going to take down Roserade and lose to Togekiss. Pikachu's going to beat Togekiss and then fall to Gastrodon. And then Surfetch will drop, but he'll get some damage off on Milotic. But yeah, as you can see, this battle is going to be really amazing. And this battle is 3 parts, semi-finals match, 3 parts. And yeah, so I'm ensuring the dream with Infernape and the dream with Infernape comes true against Garchomp. Now though, as for this Leon, I don't have the battle unfortunately, but I can explain what the teams are. So Infernape is not in the Leon fight because I want him to have his best moment be against Cynthia, so I don't have to have him lose. So then that means actually team for Leon is Pikachu, Charizard, Greninja, Sceptile, Lycanroc, and Lucario. And Ash will be using 2 gimmicks in that fight, being Pikachu's Z-move and Lucario's Mega Stone. This is the only fight. This is the only fight where there's going to be more than 1 gimmick. I might have this fight where can be used. Have them using all 3 gimmicks, so starts going on that. But in the Leon fight, Ash will only be using Mega Lucario and Pikachu's Z-move. You will also see Greninja's Bond phenomenon again. Yes, I am not going to retcon it like the anime has. Ash will use the Ash Greninja form, and you will see it. Even in the warm-up fight against Diantha, you're gonna see the Greninja you're gonna see the Greninja form. But yeah, as you can see, and then of course Leon's team this is the team I decided for Leon. His team is Charizard, Dragapult, Aegislash, Rillaboom, Rhyperior, and Mr. Rhyme. I think that's like the best, strongest team we can use against this version of Ash. But even so, Ash will beat Leon with 2 Pokemon still left, being Greninja and Pikachu. But both Pokemon are completely exhausted, so it's pretty much like Ash. Ash almost lost to Leon, but he has 2 Pokemon left in the end. And Greninja will actually fight Leon's Charizard for a bit. Before Ash switches him out for Pikachu, and then Pikachu will take down Charizard with the Z move against G-Max Wildfire. Now I should show you the last quarterfinals match. As you can see, guys, this is the first look at Cam's and also Ash's new Pokemon. So yeah, as you can see with Ash, he has Rillaboom and Hisuian Arcanine. Hisuian Arcanine will be explained later about. I've done some changes to the episodes. And then Rillaboom, like Ash should have got Starlight, and Grookey fits him so well. So yeah. Ash has Rillaboom, and then that's probably going to be Pikachu, Dragonite, Gengar, and Lucario. Cam's team with Eevee, who is his starter Pokemon from the original series that takes him everywhere, and he's basically like Pikachu. And he even has a Z move and the G-Max, just like Pikachu. Tyranitar, which is meant to be the pseudo, its counterpart's Dragonite. Urshifu, who's basically the Lucario's counterpart. Then you have Alakazam with Gengar's counterpart, on Teleon, who's supposed to counterpart of Rillaboom, and then Volcarona, who basically counterparts Arcanine. So you can kind of see what I mean by this, guys. Like, the teams completely counterpart each other, and this is the teams straight up counter each other. So you guys can see, it looks really good, and I'm really excited for this battle because there's like a lot of tension. Because this battle is 3 parts. This battle is 3 parts with Ash and Cam in the rewrite. But I guess I should now explain Cam's one battle I have already done, which I'll show you now. Now, this fight makes it like it was randomest fight in the tournament. No, this battle has the same amount of impact as Ash vs Leon and Ash is Cynthia, and I'm probably explaining how does this fight have so much of a build up. So I should explain this, and this is pretty much and this will explain why this battle is such a big battle. So back in the original series, Cam will win the Indigo League, and he actually goes to fight the Elite Four, and he gets all the way to Lance, but loses to his Dragonite. Against Cam basically has used his Dratini against Lance's Dragonite, and during that battle, Dratini evolves into Dragonair, but despite that, Lance still takes the win. But Lance sees a lot of promise, and in Cam, and tells him to keep getting stronger, which Cam agrees to. And then obviously, but the Johto series, Cam and Lance meet up a lot, and obviously, Lance is the champion. And then again, and then in the Lake of Rays, Cam and Lance will team up to fight the Team Rocket admins, trying to manipulate trying to manipulate Gyarados, which is the same one that Lance will catch. Because Cam offers to catch it, but Lance declines, saying that he would like that he knows that Cam is a good trainer, and that he wouldn't put Gyarados through so much pain. So he decided to help out Gyarados and then catch it for himself. And Cam tells Lance to look after Gyarados and hope they encounter each other again, which ideally they actually do. And this time it's in the Johto Elite Four. So yeah, Cam actually wins the Johto League as well, and then fights Lance as champion, but then loses to Lance again. So you kind of see the impact, right? So Cam's lost to Lance 2 times, but he's getting close, and then and then Lance gives Cam some reassurance and advice, and then tells him about Hoenn, and then which causes Cam to go to Hoenn with Ash, and then of course you're in the ground on arc. Lance will show up again. Him and Cam will work together again, but then this time Lance leaves, and Cam and Lance do not see each other again until Journeys. But then this is where it gets kind of big. So during the Leon and Lance fight, Cam is watching that fight with Ash, and he's rooting for Lance. But then after Lance lost, Cam decided that he wants to go. That his dream is to defeat Lance once and for all in the Masters 8. And then basically, a few episodes later, Cam's gonna have an exhibition training match with Lance in the stadium, and it's a one-on-one with Gyarados and Venusaur, with Lance coming out on top again. So yeah, Cam's lost Lance 3 times at this point. And then later on in Journeys, and then throughout Journeys, Lance is watching Cam's battles, and he's really impressed with how strong Cam has gotten since becoming the Alola League champion alongside Ash. And then they have and then during meeting of the Monarch, Cam meets up with Lance, and they have a discussion, and then also Lance and Cam do a bit of training, but not like an actual battle. Like they start training and looking at each other's Pokemon. And then of course, you know, the Dragonites. You know, this is the first time that Lance has seen Cam's Dragonite, because last time we saw his Dragonite was actually when it was a Dragonair, when he was fighting against Team Rocket during Lake of Rage. So Lance is impressed that Cam has managed to evolve his Dratini all the way up to Dragonite, according to the last time we saw them when he had a Dragonair. And then of course Cam and Lance are put in the same group in the Master 8, which is the reason why Lance and Cam need to be in the same group, so they can conclude this rivalry. But they are like, and then of course this is it, like this is the battle. This is the battle where Cam will finally defeat Lance. And the teams going into this fight are Salamence, Dragonite, Hydreigon, Gyarados, Aerodactyl and Kingdra for Lance, and then Salamence, Dragonite, Dracozolt, Venusaur, Komodo, and Darmanitan for Cam. So you see, Cam they decided to straight up bring all counters to Lance's team. And some of the battles in this include the Dragonites finally facing off each other one last time, and this will be the final fight of the matchup. Dragonite v Dragonite, with Cam's Dragonite finally overcoming Lance's Dragonite. And then of course another matchup is going to be G-Max Venusaur. Yeah, the originally was Dynamax Venusaur when their first fight, when they both do Dynamax for the first time. But then, it's going to be Dynamax Venusaur, G-Max Venusaur versus Dynamax Gyarados, and then it's going to end with Gyarados and Venusaur double knockout, double KO. And then of course you're going to see some mirror matches between the Salamences. You're going to see Komodo going against Hydreigon. You're going to see Darmanitan fighting Kingdra, and then you're also going to see Dracozolt fighting like Aerodactyl, and even do some damage to Gyarados as well. But yeah, this is like one of the biggest battles of the whole rewrite. Like this battle has like a lot of build up for it throughout the previous series and all that. So that's pretty much going over all the teams. So now guys, let's go over all of the episodes now, and I'll explain in detail what each episode is. So as you can see, you got the first bunch are still pretty much the same, but I'll go into detail more with these ones. So End of League 2 exactly the same. Legends Go, Friends Go, exactly the same except for Cam is with Ash, and then they go together. Ivers from Serious Tower is basically the same, except as well Cam fights Team Rocket with Ash using not just Eevee but using a load of Pokemon. Selling the Score Bunny's the same. Mind-boggling Dynamax is the same. Flash of Time to Plane is the first really big change. So instead of so Leo and Lance is all still the same. But then of course Cam's watching and he's like rooting for Lance, and then after that Cam decides, and And then this was the episode where Cam decided he wants to take down Lance to get him one step closer to his goal. And then of course we have Ash versus Leon. We're gonna have Ash stop the giant. Ash is gonna stop the giant. Ash and Karen Gog are gonna stop the giant. Dreadnought that's gonna destroy the stadium, alright? And then in this episode where you're gonna see the debut of G-Max Eevee and G-Max Pikachu, obviously, and then of course Ash will fight Leon, but also Lance watched Cam help take this Dynamax Pokemon, and then Lance agrees so that Cam go and see the other Masters 8 members in the back. So while Ash is fighting Leon, Cam ends up meeting the rest of the Masters 8, which at this point is Leon, Lance, Cynthia, Steven, Flint, Caitlin, Alan, and Raihan. And then expedition training Cam versus Lance. Same with the episode. This episode will take place a few days after Ash versus Leon. They're gonna need to clean up the stadium and around the stadium. And this battle actually happened when there's a crowd all watching Cam's battle, and Lance will end up, of course, like I said, ending up with the victor. And then working my way back to Mew, which of course is basically the same. But Cam's going to catch a Pinsir in this episode as well. So in the Fluke Cup, back's actually saying Cam don't actually compete because he decided he wants to. Cam decided he doesn't really want to battle this time because he just wants to give other people a chance. And then you have the Finding a Legend, which that part's the same. And then you have the Rocking counterpart, which is Cam going out and catching a fucking Tyranitar. So yeah, Cam's gonna go and catch a Tyranitar, and then of course the next episode, Chesting Paradise, exactly the same. But Cam brings his Dragonite with him to help Ash's Dragonite learn Dragon Dance as when you roll your Dragonair. And then of course, your Cam's first battle in the championships will be against a trainer called Blaze, who's now the new gym leader of Cinnabar after Blaine retired. And he uses fire Pokemon, as you know, and this will be the first battle where Tyranitar battle. And then your best friends was right now, which is the Gengar episode. Way About on the Ruin, same, and the King of Tomorrow is the same. Chilling Curse is the same. Destination Coronation is the same. Because pretty much all the episodes are the same, but with Cam was watching. Mysterious Ditto. This episode is Chloe focused, and it ain't the same as the day after we had before. It could be similar, but it's gonna have some differences. So Chloe's gonna catch this Ditto, and it's basically gonna be like the Eevee replacement, basically, but it won't need an arc or anything like that. Cannibal Mystery is the same. Dreams and Melodies are the same. Toughen It Out, exact same. Where as well, Ash. Well, obviously, and because Ash will catch Farfetch. Sobbing Sobble, it's going to actually be 2 Sobbles, and Cam's going to get 1, and then Ghost going to get 1. A Panic in the Park is the same, Goodbye Friend is the same, Festival Reunion is the same. But yeah, so Cam decides he doesn't need to complete because basically, throughout between the episodes where he enters the championships and he gets at the Festival Reunion, he'd already gone to the Great Ball class. I know that because the day you're basically going to see battles happening outside episodes for Cam, so he can get up there. But Cam decides to fight in a few of the battles and then stop once he gets into the Great Ball class, and then he can give Ash a chance to get up there too. And then Getting Stronger Together is the same. Mischievous Grookey. This is the episode where Ash will get Grookey. Yeah, so yeah, I wanted to give Ash Grookey quite early. I don't want to do it too late, so I thought to give him it quite early. Tail Look a Lip, You and Clone Tangle. Exact same. Rival Peer. This is when Ash will first fight Bede in the anime. And this will be their first battle. This will be a great class battle, and Ash will win. But then, of course, Bede's gonna be like Paul/Gary, when they were like jerks and all that. Tidal versus Nessa, which will be Cam's first battle with Nessa, and he will lose that fight. Due to his Sobble, still being quite new, because he wanted to use his Sobble against Nessa, but then Sobble kind of gets destroyed by Dreadnought, and then you have time after time it's the same, and then Trable is still the same. Sometimes medicine is the exact same, where Ash loses to B, but this time instead of Halucha, she has a Surfetch. And that'll be what makes Farfetch lose. And I did that because then that way I can establish a rivalry for Ash's Farfetch'd. And then making battles in the sand the exact same, but except Ash's suppression just continued for a little while longer. Like Cam tried to slap Ash out with suppression in that episode, but it doesn't quite work. And then you have the new old Gang of Mine, which will be the last fun part of the last episode. We're going to have the second part, which will be Ash having a battle against Kiawe in the Grateful class, where Ash is still down, but then of course Kiawe will notice it and he snaps Ash out, and then Ash will finally get back to normal. And then you have All Out All the Time, which is the other load episode, where they have the race about a lowdown, and then Ash meets the kids, and then he's setting up the Z move and the champion stuff. Yeah, all that'll be early on, because obviously we need to have that happen quite early on, because also Cam kind of has to announce that he's champion early on, and then you have Voice to Go, which yes, you're gonna put him become even earlier, so it comes out around around 30 episodes earlier. Then you have Leave to Stream, which I believe is the 9th episode. You're gonna have they said the first Project Mew mission happen right after that episode. And then you go catching Pikachu, and then the next episode. So I moved that around so I can get a longer good setup for Ash versus B. The rematch is of course the Octo Lock at the grid at the gym, which is obviously the exact same. With literally the exact same, there's gonna be no changes. And then the Cracking Nobel, which is basically the same. So yeah, Go will not get that exact same what it was in the original. Battle of Old Friends, a rival, it actually is Richie in the Great class. That battle, Ash will be using Pikachu and Gengar against Richie's. Or Pikachu and Charizard versus his Pikachu and Charizard. So then Ash and Charizard can finally get his win on Richie. And then you have an episode with Cynthia versus Caitlyn, which, remember, they never finished their battle in the Universe series, but when they did finish, it was sort of tie. So I want to do a second part for that in this series, but then have Cynthia win, because Cynthia get a back win, and then the Trials of Golden Scale, which is when you have of course that Volcano episode, which will be also where Cam will probably get his Love Esther too. And then you Shock Internal Revenge, which is when Yampa will evolve. And then you have Cam and Ash's first battle in the series in the Great Class, where it's going to end in a tie. And then you're crowning the Child Crosser with the exact same. But then I'll take the end of the episode to have Ash reunite with Iris, and then having Iris versus Alder, which is the battle where Iris will get her champion position. And then you have the Draco's episode, which, this episode will be Cam also getting Draco's ult. So yeah, Cam will get Draco's ult as well in this episode, so you, like you saw. And then of course it goes to the Darkest Day arc. Final promise to Mewtwo, if I haven't seen the Mewtwo Strikes Back, I don't think I've had to show it on video, so when I go through the titles, I'll show you the Mewtwo Strikes Back, I'll show you the Mewtwo Strikes Back one, rewrite. And then you get more than the Battle for, which of course is Mewtwo. So yeah, there's gonna be a 2-part Mewtwo episode. Trial of a Body Master, which is of course the same for Farfetch. Soul Spice Selfie Training, which is Karen goes Soul training together. Training on the Isle, which is Ash and Cam training, and basically Gengar wants to master G-Max. At the end of the episode, then of course that'll be where Ash will, have the G-Max episode. So instead of being in the main park Galar, it's on the Isle of Armor instead. Also doing the training, that's when Cam will to get Cubfu. So yeah. Looking out for number 2, exact same battling, trying out for level, which the Marnie fight. That's 2v2 and not 1v1. We have Pikachu and Gengar versus Morpeko and Grimmsnarl. And of course, Ash will win that exact same as the original. And the feats two are the same. And then you have High Vortex of a Battle, Canvas's Nest of round 2, which will be this episode. Cam Sobble will roll in the Drizzile. And he will also try out his new Dracozolt. And this battle will also end in a loss, but be a lot closer. And then you have Search for Chivalry, which is of course the next part for Farfetch'd. Then you have Trouble Cerulean Gym, which is when a Misty will return and the sisters have done stuff and all that. I haven't done that for just yet. And then you have 5 battle to the end, which is Ash versus Kabu in the Great class. Ash will use Dracovish for the first time. So yeah, Ash will use Dracovish a lot more. So you can see Ash will use Dracovish and Pikachu against Kabu's Thunderscorch and Ninetales. Then you have Champion Exhibition, which will be an exhibition fight that Ash has to do in the Alola. Beyond Chivalry, aiming to be a League Master with Zack Stain, with Farfetch'd evolving, battling the Elite, Counter Road to the top, which will be Cam. When it says battling the Elite, that means an Elite 4 member, which will be Koga, and then that battle will be the battle that pushes Cam into the Ultra class. And you have Healing the Healer, which is a Suicune episode, and Go will get Suicune. Because I feel like Edge is too good for Go. And then those two are the same. And then you have Mission on the Tundra and a Breeding Way battle. So basically the Way battle is not going to be in Kanto, it's going to be in the Crown Tundra. And then Go will catch Articuno in this version. So yeah, Go will catch Articuno in this version. Because I feel like the Articuno, they made it way too fucking strong. So I'm making it so where Go will catch Articuno with the help from Gary, Cam, Ash, and then Tokyo as well. Nightmare, Nightfall, and then the Midsummer's Nightlight, which is the exact same. Flash of Titan, exact same, with Dracovish and Dragonite against Dragonite and Haxorus. How did not home instead of Grookey, that's going to be a Turtwig, which Go's going to get. See, I can go Turtwig and not a Grookey this time. Absol was the same, Sweet Taste of Battle was the exact same with Opal, and then you're gonna have Ash battle Bead again, and then Ash will beat Bead. He's gonna be using a G-Max Hatterene, a Rapidash, a Galar Rapidash, and then a Sylveon against active Pikachu, Gengar, and actually Thwackey, which you have at this point. And then you have another of the same episode, the Team Rocket and like Dotion Cassie and all that. Then you have Cam fighting Wallace in a Ultra Class battle. It'd be 3v3 with Dracozolt, Eevee, and Drizzile against, or maybe Inteleon. Maybe we could have, I might do Inteleon. I might Drizzile well in this episode against his Milotic, his Swampert, and probably his Walrein. That's what we'll probably do. Then you have Line the Way Home, Evolution Text, and then you have Active Volcans. Basically the exact same, except Gengar has a few new moves this time. So the fight against Luxray and Rotom's a little bit different, but the outcome is the same with Gengar losing to Rotom. To select Drizzile, W and Go's Drizzile will evolve into Inteleon. And so basically, Go's Drizzile will evolve here, and then Cam's Drizzile will fight, will evolve during the Wallace fight. And then of course you have the Starlight Flight with the exact same. Showdown round 3 versus Nessa, which we can final win against Nessa, and we'll actually have G-Max Inteleon against G-Max Dreadnought. As well as that, he will be using Dracozolt and also Dracozolt and Kufu, which still Kufu, because he don't get a shooter quite late in the series. Then you have Adventure Mega Proportions, was the exact same. Mega Evolution Showdown against Alarm, which would be training, was basically Lucario training, Ash and Lucario training for their Mega Evolution for the first time against Alarm. And then after they battle Alarm will give Ash a Charizard Y Megastone, which will go on Charizard for the Lance fight, and then so yeah, Ash will be using Mega Charizard Y in the Lance fight. And then you have Ash's, that would be, which this is way different than what it was in the original. First of all, there's no Pikachu, instead it's Surfetch'd, Gengar, and Lucario. And then another difference is that it's going to be G-Max Gengar versus G-Max Machamp, not regular Lucario versus G-Max Machamp, because I want to have Lucario conclude its rivalry with Grapploct, like, perfectly. So we're going to have Surfetch'd and Surfetch'd, with Surfetch'd finally overcoming Beast Surfetch'd. And then you have the G-Max battle with with Gengar and Beast Machamp, where Gengar and Beast Machamp can probably double knockout. And then you could have the final match to be Lucario versus Grapploct, with Lucario finally overcoming Grapploct and getting that victory, but it's not going to be like one hit like the original. That's the reason I'm doing that like that, because I don't want Lucario just one hitting Grapploct and then just losing like that. Then you have the Gateway Warp and Showdown and the Gate Warp. Then I did some changes to the arc with Legend Arceus. I did some changes. You have the Pokemon of Old, which is part 1. Then you have Team Galactic Return, which is the episode we know exactly what it is with them, the Heatran. You know, we're old friends, we went Ash reunite with Brock and Dawn again. So yeah, Dawn and Brock, you know, the giant Heatran. And then gifts from Arceus. Arceus will obviously help. And then after that, he will actually transport some Hisuian Pokemon for each of us to catch. So Ash will catch Growlithe, Cam will catch a Hisuian, Sneasel, Go will get a Hisuian, and then Chloe will also get one as well. And then Dawn and Brook decide to get one each as well. And then you have the Battle Royale with the trail was the exact same with Tokyo being Go. And then Master of Darkness has to pitch, which is a 3v3. This fight Ash will use Pikachu, Surfetch'd, and Dracovish. And the arena with the Monarch, the exact same. Trading the Lance, Task the Strongest, which again, I explained that earlier, where Cam will talk with Lance and all that. And then of course, Cam and Lance have a little bit of training with each other's Pokemon. Then One Stick Wonder, which will be where actually Thwackey will finally evolve into Rillaboom. And then you have the final mission of Taking the Reggie, which is the exact same with Go getting Regieleki. That Illinois to Top Gun is Hop is basically one of Cam's more smaller rivals in journeys, and he gets to the Ultra Class, but then Cam just destroys him, because at this point, Stan still doesn't have Urshifu. But yes, like Ammon's like Alakazam, Tyranitar, all that he'll be using here. Then you have the other Ivy Spark, actually this Paul, which this won't be the same team that he used against Paul in the main with Gengar, Dragonite, and Lucario. He'll be using Pikachu, Gengar, and Rillaboom against Paul's Metagross, Paul's Gyarados, Metagross, and Garchomp. Then you have the Wallace Cup arc, which I've explained to you before. Then you have the features now thanks to strategy. Then you have Battle Dragon as the Dragonite. This will be a 3v3. And then this battle actually being Dragonite, and also use Dracovish and Surfetch'd. So yeah, basically Ash will basically bring Dragonite, because I want to give Dragonite at least one win in the Hypercross before I have it losing the Raihan fight. And then of course there's Cam battling Flint for Master Day, which Cam will win using his Pokemon being Inteleon, Tyranitar, and Eevee. And then you have the Rocket Raider show, the Greninja Lucario is exactly same, but there's no route, since like I said discussed before, there were no stupid vines in this version, with the vines with the stupid reason to get Greninja out. Moan and Lily, exact same, 12 and 10 low temperature. This episode will be a bit different. This episode it's gonna be like prepared after the Master Day, and then of course this battle we were Ash, you know, this will be, and doing this as a Kaku would get Ashley advice to use his older Pokemon, which he listens to, and he decides to pick up his older Pokemon, which of course will relate to the next episode, which is assembling the team, the Master rates. Then this is the episode where Cam finally gets Urchi through, which is final Master Training Camp's path to the strongest, and then basically during this episode, during that first part, after Cam's playing with Master Rule again, then Cam's Urshifu will use G-Max against Master's Urshifu G-Max, and Cam's Urshifu actually wants to come out on top. Then the Master 8, like I've explained, you have the Battle Champ with Cam versus Iris, where it starts 2 parts, and then you have Ash actually battle with Diantha, which is these are all warm-ups, by the way. And then of course you can see Greninjas there, so yeah, Greninja will come, Clash of Champions, and you have which is Cynthia versus Steven, and then of course you have Lance. And then you have the Doubtful Redemption, Leon versus Lance. This will be a rematch, and then I'll continue to the next episode, which is called Battle Power Charizard versus Dragonite, with of course Leon still winning. Tense Training wins Stadium, and then you have Leon versus Diantha, Ash versus Lance, I explained. Cam versus Steven, which is another one I mentioned, and then you have Cynthia versus Iris, which. That's just going to be different. It's going to be like all about the 66. I will have some new Pokemon, like she's going to have a G-Max, Lapras, a Druddigon, and then of course Amalgam's going to come in too for that fight. And then of course you have Cameras actually I mentioned to you, and then of course that'll be when the Karen actually will finally fight, and that'll actually end in a double knockout. And then of course you have Mega Evolution Clash with Garchomp and Gardevoir, which is with Diantha and Cynthia. Then you have Lance with Steven. Then you have Leon versus Iris, and that part, and then you have a training episode in the middle of the league with Cam, doing a bit more training with Mustard again, so we can prepare for Lance and of course get that win. And then this will also be the episode where Cam will get the G-Max Venusaur all for the league. Ready to go, so yeah. Then you have Iris versus Diantha, where you're gonna have to have Excadrill fighting Gardevoir and not Haxorus, since Haxorus, you know, is weak to Fairy. And then you have Actually battle with Steven, which I mentioned to you already. And then you have the battle of the strongest, Leon versus Cynthia, which that'll be a close fight, but then of course, you know, Leon has to win, since he needs to be actually his final goal. Then you have Cam versus Lance, which is 3 parts, like I mentioned. It's called The Final Showdown, Cam versus Lance. Dynamax Battle, Venusaur versus Gyarados. The rivalry ends, Dragonite Clash. Then you have a recap episode for the Master 8. The history of Cynthia comes finally awaits. So obviously, the history of Cynthia is exactly what's going to happen in Friday's episode coming up. Well, not yesterday's Friday, but this week Friday coming up. And then you have the Master 8 recap episode, which I'm just going to keep the exact same, but also of course adding Cam's moments. Then you have Cam versus Leon, and that's actually 3 parts, because Cam pushes Leon down to his last Pokemon. Yeah, Cam's one of the only trainers to push Leon down 5 Pokemon, and even Charizard gets battled with Benny and Cam will lose. And then he goes to Ash's battle with Cynthia. Then you have Ashley Leon, which is 4 parts. Then you have the Project New conclusions, Cam's new path, which will be obviously Cam changing his dream after defeating Lance. And then the journey to Paldea, which will be the last episode of the Journey's rewrite. And yeah, so tell me what you think in the comments down below, guys, because I'm really excited for the rewrite. I have no idea when it's all going to come out. Like, I'm going to say now, probably first part will probably not come out till at least either end of this year or next year. But anyway, guys, until the next video, I'll see you all again very soon.